Saludos a todo el mundo. Vamos a empezar en 5 minutos. Veo que muchos de ustedes se están conectando temprano, que es excelente. Muchas gracias por eso. A lo que empezamos, si quieren pueden apagar su video, pero por favor, si lo tienen disponible, préndanlo a las 6:30 Eastern Time, en 5 minutos cuando empecemos la reunión. También los he puesto a la mayoría de ustedes en mute, inclusive a los que se están conectando por teléfono, así que sepan que ahora mismo no los podemos escuchar. Cuando empiece la reunión en 5 minutos les voy a quitar el mute, pero les pido que cuando empecemos que se pongan en mute ustedes mismos hasta que sea la oportunidad de ustedes de hablar o hasta que tengan alguna pregunta. De esa manera va a mejorar el audio para todos, ¿ok? Así es que en 4 minutos ya mismo estamos empezando. Gracias. Okay, everybody can, if you've been waiting for the meeting to start, I think we're gonna get started. So if you have video, please make sure to activate it. And I'm quickly, in the next few seconds, I'm gonna unmute everybody. But I ask you please to mute yourselves again so that we can preserve the good audio for the meeting. The mute button is on the left corner at the bottom. It's a little microphone. And then if you wanna share or stop your video, it's also right next to it. So I'm gonna mute everybody and please mute yourself. Mute yourself.
Also, for those of you who are connecting from the phone, not sure if muting you from our software works, so just mute yourself on your phone.
Yes, we can mute everybody, but then we don't know if you'll be able to unmute yourselves if you're on the phone. So if you're on the phone, please find that mute button and mute yourself until it's time to ask a question.
Something else, if you have headphones, it's probably better if you try to use it, because if the volume of your computer or your iPad is too loud, then there'll be feedback. So if you have any headphones or earphones, it'd be best if you can.
So there's somebody saying that they can't hear. Can everybody hear okay? Give us a thumb up if you can hear us.
I forgot.
Okay, it seems like most everybody can hear us. Fine, okay. Some people have found the chat function. If you want to send us a message, if it seems like we can't hear you, you can also communicate with us via chat. It's also on that bottom toolbar. and you can chat with us privately or with the group entirely. Okay. Okay, good. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for your interest in the Yale Ciencia Academy. My name is Giovanna Guerrero Medina, and I'm the Principal Director of the Ciencia Academy. We're very excited to have you here for this first meeting. This is going to be more of an orientation and introduction to the program, giving you kind of an overview of what the program is, what it's meant to do, what the components are, and we're going to also show you a little bit about the technology we're going to use, and hopefully answer any questions you might have up to this point. I'm going to begin giving you a little bit of an update, a briefing on why this program came to be. And then we're going to introduce ourselves, myself and Monica, whom you've been in communication with. Monica is the program coordinator of the Yale Ciencia Academy. And then we're going to ask each of you to introduce yourselves really briefly, because there are 34 of you. So we'll give you instructions when that part comes. Then we're gonna go over a little bit some of the technical aspects of the Zoom platform, just so that if you need to interact with us, you know how to do it. And then we'll go over the YCA program and answer your questions, okay? So I hope most of you know that the Yale Ciencia Academy is a project that has been designed and organized by Ciencia Puerto Rico in collaboration with Yale University. Ciencia Puerto Rico is a community that was built to provide a space for people who have an interest in science in Puerto Rico to come together and to contribute through their example, through their connections, through their commitment to the mission of improving science, education, and scientific careers for Puerto Ricans and in general for Hispanics. We are very committed to the mission of making science accessible to everyone, and increasing the representation of communities, people, societies, even countries that have traditionally not been as represented in science as others. Monica and I are both scientists, and we've both been involved with Ciencia Puerto Rico almost from the beginning. And this program, the Yale Ciencia Academy, is a program that arises from both what we've seen and what we've heard from the community in terms of what the need that there is for a program of this sort. And also because we've been in graduate schools ourselves not that long ago, we know from personal experience how needed a program like this is and how important it is for graduate students and young people that are looking towards careers in science and technology to get some advice and feedback about how to prepare better for those careers. So that's the motivation for this program. It really comes from a lot of discussions we've had with graduate students in Puerto Rico, in the US, across many universities, about what the need of connecting, seeing what successful scientists are doing, how they got there, and getting more advice about how to complete successfully a PhD program and then transition to a successful career in science. So like I said, my name is Giovanna Guerrero Medina. I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I was born and raised in Rio Piedras. I went to university at the University of Puerto Rico in Rio Piedras, and I majored in biology. And then I went on to do a PhD in molecular and cell biology from University of California, Berkeley. After that, I decided to try the field of science policy. And so I did an internship with the National Academies in Washington, D.C., and I fell in love with the idea of helping the science and technology community, and particularly other scientists, to do what we do best, which is to ask questions, look for answers, and contribute to society in that way. And so for the last probably 10 years, I've been working in different facets of science policy, helping connect policymakers or governmental institutions with the voices of scientists and helping inform scientific programs. All throughout my post-PhD career, I've been involved with Ciencia, Puerto Rico. And so I'm also the executive director of the Ciencia Puerto Rico network. And it's a project that has really shaped who I am and given my career a sense of purpose. So like with Monica, if you have any questions about that network in particular, we can talk about that. Monica, do you want to introduce yourself to the fellows?
Yes. Hello, everybody. For those of you who can see me, this is the face that's been sending you a ton of emails. So it's good to connect or see some of you. So as Giovanna said, I'm Mónica Feliu Mojer. I am the Vice Director of Ciencia Puerto Rico. I am also the Science Outreach Program Manager for an organization called iBiology. And briefly, what iBiology does is produce free online videos about research and the process of science and the human side of science, based in San Francisco, California. I am originally from Vega Alta, Puerto Rico. I grew up in a rural community there. I'm from El Campo, no de la ciudad, o de la isla, for those of you who are from Puerto Rico. I have a bachelor's degree in biology from the University of Puerto Rico in Valladolid. And after doing that, I went to MIT and worked there for about 3 years as a research technician in a lab that focused on understanding the mechanisms behind learning and memory. So I am a neurobiologist by training. After that 3-year stint at MIT, I did my PhD in neurobiology at Harvard University. And after I finished my PhD, actually way before I finished my PhD, I realized that an academic career was not exactly what I wanted to do. And partly that was through the work that I was doing with Ciencia Puerto Rico. I've been a volunteer and then an employee with Ciencia Puerto Rico. And all in all, I've been with the organization for 10 years, so really since the beginning. And so I realized that what I wanted to do was communicate science, help make science more accessible to different kinds of people. So I decided to pursue a career in communication and outreach. And that's what I do with Ciencia Puerto Rico and iBiology.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is going to be like the first test of our ability to follow direction and organize ourselves. So I'm going to ask all of you to open that chat box at the bottom of your screens. And I hope you can see on the left a list of names. So we're going to go in the order that you see there. I just want to make sure, Monica, do you see Asleen first, then Yarima? Is that the order you see them? Okay, perfect. Yes. So everybody should have the same order. So we're going to go in that order. And because there are 34 of us, we want you to just say your name and your institution where you're studying right now. And just leave it at that. We're gonna have an opportunity in February when we see ourselves, when we meet in person, to really get to know each one of you and for you to get to know all the other fellows. But for now, just in the interest of time, we're gonna ask you to just say your name and your institution. So we're gonna start with Asleen, and then Yarimar, then Neisha, and so on.
Hi, my name is Asleen Rodriguez Nasif. I'm from the University of Puerto Rico at Maya West Campus.
Great.
Hi, it's my turn, right? My name is Yarimar Ortiz Frontera. I'm currently a doctoral student in the school psychology program at the University of Rhode Island. And I did my undergrad in the University of Puerto Rico, Maya West. Woo.
Neisha?
Hi, can you see me? No.
We can hear you, we can't see you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hi.
Hi, Neisha. You don't have a video with associated? You're by phone, right?
No,
Okay.
I can see you. I can see Neisha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Go for it.
Anyways, well, my name is Neisha. I'm from Puerto Rico. And right now, this is my 4th year at Ponce Health Sciences University.
Okay, remember to mute and unmute yourself.
Hi, do you see me?
Yes.
Okay, hi, my name is Jaylene Perez. I'm a 3rd year PhD student at Ponce Health Science University, and I'm from Puerto Rico.
Okay, we're up with Daisha. You have to unmute yourself.
Hi, Daisha Torres. I graduated from UPR Maya West, but I'm currently doing my PhD at the University of
Okay. Everybody, if you can mute your phone when you're not speaking, that would be great. Then we go to Hector.
Hi, my name is Hector Diaz. I'm from Ponce Health Science University.
Okay, great. Claudia?
Hi, my name is Claudia. I'm a 1st year graduate student studying in Ponce Health Sciences University.
Great, Saad. You're muted.
All right, hello. Hi, my name is Saad. I am a 1st year graduate student at the University of Haven. I'm pursuing a career in molecular and cellular biology.
Great. Laura?
Hello, everybody. My name is Laura, and I'm in a PhD program in clinical psychology in the Ponce Health Sciences University.
Perfect. Susana? Remember to unmute.
You mute now. Hi, everyone. My name is Susana. I am from Puerto Rico, but now I am in Albert Einstein College of Medicine. I'm a 5th year in the cell biology department.
Great. Adeline? You're muted.
Hi, my name is Adeline Rodriguez. I am in the physiology department of University of Puerto Rico Medical Sciences Campus.
Thank you. Melissa?
Hello, my name is Melissa Ortiz from the Biochemistry Department, UPR Medical Sciences Campus.
Thank you. Lester?
Hi, my name is Lester Rosario, and I am from the University of Puerto Rico Medical Sciences Campus. I'm currently in my 2nd year of PhD.
Thank you. Juan? Juan, remember to unmute. Okay, Juan, can you hear us? Can you introduce yourself?
He says he's trying to unmute. Are you connected on the phone?
No. Juan, I just unmuted you. Can you say something? Okay. We'll get back to you, Juan, okay? Let's go to Gladys.
Well, hi, my name is Gladys Crespo Ramos. I am PhD Clinical Psychology at Ponce Health Science University.
Perfect. Ana?
Hi, my name is Ana Baker. I'm currently doing my PhD in physiology in the University of Puerto Rico Medical Sciences campus.
Oh, sorry, I think I skipped a bunch of people here somehow. We skipped Christian.
Hi, my name is Christian Sayed. I'm a fourth-year PhD student in Albert Einstein College of Medicine.
Okay. Ariel?
Hi, my name is Ariel Negron, and I'm a fifth-year PhD student in neurobiology at Stony Brook University.
Perfect. Carlos?
Hi, my name is Carlos de Leon. I am a PhD student at Albert Einstein College of Medicine, but I am currently at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health because my boss moved his lab to here to Baltimore.
Okay, great. Ibelis?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Ibelis Cruz. I'm a second year in the Department of Pharmacology at University of Colorado School of Medicine, and I did my undergrad at University of Puerto Rico, Calle.
Perfect. Let's go to Lynette.
Hi. My name is Lynette Bosques, and I'm a PhD student in the cell biology department at Yale University.
Okay, great. Let's go to Wilmari.
Hi, my name is Wilmari Macarotis, and I'm a fourth-year PhD student in the chemistry department at Texas A&M University, and I did my undergrad in University of Puerto Rico, Rio Piedras.
Thank you. Rosa?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Rosa. I'm a fourth-year graduate student at Brown University, Department of Molecular Biology.
Great. Gabriel?
Hi, my name is Gabriel Gracia. I'm a fourth-year student in the program of pathobiology and molecular medicine in the University of Cincinnati. I did my undergrad in Rio Piedras, the UPR in Rio Piedras.
Perfect. Marvin?
Hi, my name is Marvin Mercado. I'm a first-year grad student in the cell and molecular biology at the University of Texas Austin.
Nice. Leslie? Leslie, are you there? Make sure you're unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Leslie Diaz. I'm a clinical psychology PhD student from Puerto Health Sciences University.
Great. And then Jomari. Jamari, go ahead and introduce yourself. You should be unmuted. No? If you're having trouble connecting, send us a message by chat. In the meantime, let's go to Omar. You're muted. We can't hear you.
From the area of neuro AIDS, specifically in cocaine and HIV interactions. So I'm glad to be here.
Okay, great. Juan, do you want to try again to introduce yourself?
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you, yes.
Yeah, I'm a PsyD student at Arecibo Catholic University, La Católica. I have a master's degree in cognitive neuroscience and cognitive and behavioral neuroscience from Granada University, and my bachelor's degree is in psychology. I'm currently in my second year of doctoral studies.
Okay, great. Leslie, can you join us now? All right, is there anybody that wasn't able to introduce themselves that I missed?
Kelvin, go for it.
Hi. Hola. Soy Kelvin Quiñones Naracuente, and I'm a PhD student at University of Puerto Rico School of Medicine.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that. Anyone else? Is there anybody on the phone that didn't get the chance to introduce themselves?
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Nestor Diaz. I'm a PhD student in Carlos Albizu University in San Juan.
Okay, great. Thank you. For those of you that are on the phone, if you could find time to get a connection for some of our conversations, particularly with the conversations with scientists and the peer mentoring chats, that would be ideal, because I think you will get a lot more if you can connect via the online platform and see the people, and in some cases we might share some materials through the screen. So for the next time, or if you have some issues connecting and want to discuss, let me know. Okay, it seems like I have one more person that couldn't get to introduce themselves. Mayrim, are you there? Do you want to introduce yourself? Mayrim, go for it. You're unmuted. Okay, Mayrim. All right. Okay, well, this was a good first test, I think, of the technology we're using. It's a test run for, we're hoping for the program. And so far you probably have gotten to see some of the features. But if not, let's do un repaso. a little bit. So at the bottom of your screen, you should see the toolbar, and most of you have already learned how to use the mute and unmute button. You can choose if you have like different cameras or external microphones. There's little arrows there, and you can choose what you're using. Hopefully that's not an issue. The system usually finds the software and the equipment you're using pretty easily. We have also the ability to share screens. So when a lot of you logged in, you were seeing the agenda. If anybody wants to share their own screen, which we might want to do, I can switch that ability to anybody on the video conference. The other feature that I hope you've already gotten to see and that I encourage you to use if you need it is the chat function, which is also down there. And that way you can, if you have any questions and you don't want to interrupt the conversation, or for some reason there's a technical issue and we can't hear you, you can send us a chat and we'll see it. You can send it to us, to the entire group, or you can also send it to individual people privately. And one of the questions we had was whether these conversations are going to be recorded. So if you have the ability to record, you would see a button there. We will record some of our conversations, particularly the ones with that are conversations with scientists, but not all of them. Some of them we want to be more intimate, more private. The workshops we're not gonna record or share for the public. And I should say we might record everything just for our own internal purposes, but we will only be posting the videos of the conversations with scientists, because we're hoping that those conversations will be useful for not just for you guys, but for other students. If you have to miss a meeting, please let us know, and we might record that conversation and then send you the link so you can see it. But it really, you really will get the most out of these experiences and interactions if you participate in person. So if you can participate in person, and we hope, we've asked you to participate in at least 9 of the conversations with scientists, we'll have 10, then we want you to be here. We don't want anybody to miss out on the interactions. Finally, on some of the workshops, we might be breaking you into groups. That's something we can also do through the system. So that's another feature. And the last feature I wanted to point out for you is that you can choose to see everybody at the same time on the screen with the gallery view button at the top. And so that switches from seeing, I think it's 25 faces on the screen versus seeing just the person that's speaking. And that's the speaker view. So those are the most important parts. You can also have your own Zoom channel. It's a free application, I think, for the most part. So, try it out, test it out, use it for yourself, and hopefully, the technology will not get in the way as we get better at using it. Okay, so now we go to the portion of the overview of the Yale Ciencia Academy. So this is the main part of this discussion. We really want to go over some of the materials that we sent you. And so I'm going to turn the table over to Monica so that she can give us a little bit of an explanation of the Yale Ciencia Academy, and we can answer any questions you might have about that.
Okay, Joanna, before I go do that, Adeline is mentioning that there's a raise hand function. I actually don't see that.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Interesting.
Denise, I'm here. Hello?
Yes.
You asked for Edith. Hi.
Hi, Edith.
I'm sorry because I had to join after my class, and I'm trying to see you guys online, but I'm in the phone.
Oh, that's fine. So Edith, can you briefly introduce yourself? Can you tell us your full name and where you go to school?
Sure. I am Edith Brignani Perez, and I am currently doing my PhD in neuroscience in Georgetown University, and I am currently in my second year. Yeah.
Awesome.
Should I say about my research, or that's fine?
No, we'll have a chance to talk about that in future meetings. In the interest of time, we'll keep that for another time. Oh, I see the raised hands. Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to test that out at some other point. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All right. So we sent you a program overview when, I don't know, a few emails ago. It's also, this document is also on the shared Dropbox that I sent you. So if you want to open it up and so that you can follow what we're going to talk about, that would be great. So briefly, Giovanna told you a little bit about why the Yale Ciencia Academy came to be. And so basically what this program wants to do is to provide you with career and professional development support, and to help you develop skills that you won't necessarily get through your research training, to connect you with mentors, role models, really with each other as well, to help you become part of a larger global community of scientists and professionals. And the way the program does that is through 5 core components. We've mentioned a few of them. So the program includes conversations with scientists, peer mentoring chats, workshops. There's a science outreach requirement, so you're required to do at least one science outreach activity, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And then next month, we will have an in-person meeting at the American Association for the Advancement of Science annual meeting in Washington, D.C. So now that I'm talking about that, for those of you who have not purchased your ticket, please do so soon before they get really expensive. And if you have purchased your ticket and you have not sent me the confirmation and the receipt for your flights or your train tickets, just send it to me. I know there's a few of you there's at least one of you who's local in DC, and I know there's a couple of you, or at least one of you, who can't make it, unfortunately, to the meeting, so you don't need to worry about it. But for those of you that have a ticket, please send me your confirmation. We want to make sure that we know when everyone's getting there and leaving. And so, we think this program is great, but we're biased because we created it. But really, we think there's a lot of benefits for you participating in this program. You'll get to explore different career paths. You get to meet different people, scientists and professionals that are not just in academia, but really beyond. You'll get to talk to them. You'll get to establish relationships with each other. A big part of a cornerstone of our program is to help you define academic and career goals and provide you the tools to be able to meet those goals. We want to help you expand your network and acquire new communication and leadership skills. You'll be, as a group, as a cohort, you'll be together for a full year. So we really hope that you'll build long-lasting relationships and become a community, not just amongst yourself, but you'll also become part of the Ciencia Puerto Rico community, which is an online global community of students, scientists, and professionals. there are different workshops and conversations where you'll be able to learn about and develop skills that will help your career advancement. You will also get to do science outreach, and we think this is really important because it will help you improve your communication skills, which I'm a scientist by training, but I'm really a communicator by trade. And I really do believe that if you are a better communicator, you become a better scientist regardless of what career you choose. And so this outreach activity is meant to help you improve your communication skills, but also help you give back to your community of choice and help you contribute to society from a different perspective through your science. You'll get to attend the in-person meeting, and there we'll have the science communication workshop, but you'll also get to attend the AAAS meeting, which is a fantastic meeting. It's very broad, so you'll hear about communication, public policy, as well as research. So it really covers a broad set of topics, and you'll get to benefit from that meeting. At the end of the program, you'll receive a certificate of completion, and you are officially the first group of YCA fellows. So you'll get to put that on your resume. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the expectations of the program. As I said, this is a year-long program starting now in January and will end in December. For you to receive a certificate of completion, you need to participate in at least 9 of 10 conversations with scientists. And as Giovanna mentioned, those will be recorded and posted on the Ciencia Puerto Rico website if you want to watch it over later. We want you to participate in all planned peer discussion chats. So these are the peer mentoring chats and the workshops. We want you to come to the in-person annual meeting. I know that some people have extraordinary circumstances and we've talked to you individually. And then we want you to complete at least one science outreach activity. And we want you to participate, and you've already invested in yourself by applying and getting accepted to this program. So we want to make sure that you're really making the most out of it by participating in the majority, if not all, of the activities that we have planned for you. Hold on. Where did the document go? Sorry. All right. So let's talk about, does anybody have any questions up to now? I'm going to take that as a no. All right. So as I said, there are 5 core components for this program. The first is the conversations with scientists. So these are essentially virtual panels. They're not that different from any panel that you've been to before, where you have, a few speakers that are experts on a particular area, and they'll share with you their experiences. You'll be able to interact with them and ask them questions. We have 7 of them that we have already selected the topics. And then there will be 3 of those that towards halfway through the program, you'll be able to send us your suggestions in terms of what topics would you like to see, and as well as speakers that you would like to see in those panels. So that's really to give you the opportunity. We've selected the topics of discussion based on research and based on what we've heard and what we've seen from talking to other graduate students. But we really want to give you all the opportunity to select and suggest topics that you think would be really relevant. So as I said, towards the half of the program, we'll give you a way so that you can suggest topics, and then you can all vote to select the 3 topics that we'll be discussing for those to be determined discussions. In this Conversations with Scientists, we wanted to give you the opportunity to explore different types of careers in industry, in outside of research, in academia and in research. So in academia, meaning research intensive and teaching intensive careers. Also exploring, how to get there for many of these different types of careers. Not for all of them, but for some of them, you need a postdoc. So we felt that was an important topic because it is an important step for many scientists in their careers. And then we wanted to discuss a few topics that are very relevant, regardless of what career path you decide to pursue. One of them is getting funded, and then how to market yourself to get that job that you want. And then we'll have a keynote discussion with a distinguished scientist or leader in the field of biomedical or behavioral sciences. And so those are the topics that will be covered. You can read more about the descriptions and some of the things that we hope to discuss in these different conversations with scientists. So again, these will be recorded and will be posted online. For the Conversations with Scientists, they will be not just accompanied by the video, but we'll also have a brief summary of what was discussed, who were the panelists, and any additional resources that they have that they mentioned during the panel or that we have found related to the topic, so that you can refer back to those. And before each of the conversations, we'll provide you with the biographies of the panelists, so you'll get to know a little bit more about them beforehand. We will also be asking you to submit questions for the panelists before each one of these conversations. So, a little bit before each of them, we'll be emailing you, asking you to send questions for the panelists. This is really for you to help you get started thinking about the particular topic that we'll discuss, and also to help the panelists prepare for the discussions that they'll have for all of you. We want these to be really laid back and relaxed. The ideas that you'll get to hear from people that have had diverse experiences, that have different types of expertise, that you'll get to talk to them, not exactly one-on-one, but in an intimate setting. Perhaps people or careers that you haven't heard about. We want to provide you with an opportunity to do that. So the next kind of online conversation or chat that we'll have are peer mentoring chats. These are online conversations really meant to be amongst yourself. Joanna and I will be present, either one of us or both of us will be present at the Conversations with Scientists and at the peer mentoring chat. But at the peer mentoring chats, our role will be really as spectators, and just to make sure that things are moving along. But the peer mentoring chats are really your opportunity as fellows, as a group, to discuss issues. We have identified some common issues or challenges that are common to many graduate students. And so we have designed these chats around those topics. So during these chats, there will be at least one facilitator. The formatting of this, it'll be different than the Conversations with Scientists, because you'll be leading the conversation. So there was on the format and technology document that I sent you, there's more details about how each of these activities will go. But essentially, during the peer mentoring chat, there's a topic And then as a group, you'll get an opportunity to discuss or raise an issue or a question related to the topic. And then we'll identify commonalities, say that, let's see, one of the topics is about what to do if you're not getting appropriate mentoring. And unfortunately, this is a challenge that is common among many graduate students. I think at some point or the other, we have all faced this, that we haven't been receiving the mentoring that we really need to succeed and thrive. So, we expect that there'll be commonalities amongst yourself. So the idea is that during this first period of the chat, we'll be able to identify those. And then in the second half of the chat, we'll be able to dive deeper, to not just vent. Sometimes it's not to vent and to say, oh, this is happening to me and it sucks. But really, this is more than an opportunity to vent. It's an opportunity so that you can provide each other with feedback and with possible solutions. We really want to help you address challenges and issues that you may have. We're all here to support each other. And so these peer mentoring chats are an opportunity to do that. Because of this, these chats will be private. They're not going to be posted anywhere. And we really want this to be not just a safe space, but a brave space where everybody respects each other, where everybody can speak up when you feel comfortable to share maybe something that you would not share with everybody, because this is a space where we will support and listen to each other. Let's see, any questions? Okay. Right. Next up is the workshops. So we have 4.
Monica?
Yes.
Hi, this is Liz. I just joined like 5 or 10 minutes ago, but I was waiting for an opportunity to say hi. I'm Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, I just finished an investor meeting, so it went over a couple minutes. So good to meet you, at least my boy.
That's okay. Welcome. Can you briefly, so can you tell us your full name and where do you go to school?
Yes, I am Liz Albertorio. I go at the University of Rochester School of Medicine in Rochester, New York, and I am in the Department of Microbiology and Immunology.
Wonderful. Okay. So I don't know how long you've been around, but we're just going over the overview document.
Yeah, I heard about the peer mentoring chats, and that's pretty much what I heard so far.
Okay, great. Yeah, so just refer to that document, and if you have any questions, we have a Q&A session at the end. Sure. I'm kind of stopping at different points and asking if anybody has questions.
Okay,
great. So the workshops, there's 4. They are, for the most part, they're online. The only workshop that is in person is the science communication workshop, which we will have during the AAAS meeting. It's going to be on February 15th. And so that'll be an all-day workshop. It'll be really fun, really interactive, and it'll really give us all an opportunity to get to know each other and to build, hopefully to build a community. So I'm going to be one of the facilitators for that workshop. We also have Luis Quevedo, who is a journalist, a filmmaker, and science communicator, who's really experienced in doing workshops and in the business of science communication. So it should be a lot of fun. I have an assignment for you for that before the communication workshop to get you warmed up, but I'll tell you I'll send you an email, but I'll tell you a little bit about it later. So the first workshop that we have is the science communication workshop. We also have a workshop about how to create an individual development plan. And let's see. Should we test the raise your hand to like how if you find that, can you raise your hand? How many of you have heard about an individual development plan?
I have heard about it, but I am in the phone, so I cannot raise my hand.
Okay, you can't raise your hand. Okay, that's great. It seems like, and I see somebody who's like actually raising their hand. I like that. Great. So it seems like actually many of you have heard of an individual development plan. So we have a workshop to give you strategies about how to use an individual development plan if you don't know what it is, and if you know what it is, and if you have one, about really how to implement that individual development plan. This individual development plan is going to be an incredibly important tool for the rest of the program, because it will help you set your career and your professional goals, and it will help you, what we hope is that it will help you bring together those goals that you have and how you can leverage the Yale Ciencia Academy to meet those goals. So we'll be having that in March. And it's going to be right now we think it's going to be a 2-hour webinar. We also have a workshop about mentoring, and it'll include some elements of networking. That's going to be in July. And again, this will be a 2-hour online workshop that will help you identify your mentoring needs and your style. It will provide you with tools to find the mentors that you need, on how to approach them and how to build effective mentoring relationships. And then last but not least, we have a workshop on scientific teaching. So Giovanna, can you actually tell us a little bit about scientific teaching theory?
Yeah, I'm not going to give the workshop right now.
No, I know, but I feel like you know more about it than I do.
Well, we know that a big percentage of the people that are trained in PhD programs either have to teach in their PhD programs or go on to careers that have some teaching component. So some experience with teaching and with knowing how to be an effective teacher will be very helpful for those of you who are planning on going towards those careers. Even for people that are not considering careers in academia or careers that involve a teaching component, being effective in terms of getting an audience or a person to understand what you're saying, particularly to understand scientific concepts, is super important for our work as scientists and for most work. And so the concepts of scientific teaching, even for those of you that are not considering careers in academia, we think that they can still be very helpful for you. And this workshop will give you strategies for how to make yourself be better understood when you're trying to present complex technical and scientific concepts, how to make sure that you're engaging with the audience, be it students or be it colleagues or be it a funder, how to make sure that you capture their attention, that they're understanding you. Those are all very important things when you're teaching and when you're communicating, and those are the type of things that we're going to be discussing in this workshop, is how to make your science understood and appreciated by your audience. And so scientific teaching has several components that include making sure the person is actively engaging, actively learning about what you're saying, making sure that you're able to reach many different types of people, no matter what their learning preference or their background is, and and also making sure that you're constantly checking and addressing whether the person is actually learning or not. So those are the three components of scientific teaching that you'll get to hear from three incredible experts that we have. And I should say, you know, you have in your guide the names of the people that are going to be participating as either scientists for the conversations with scientists, facilitators for the peer mentoring chats, or instructors, teachers for the workshops. And we feel that these are a really incredible set of people, and we're lucky that we got them for the program. I think you'll find them to be really amazing as human beings, and also as mentors and role models. So, you know, take a look at some of the names. I think you'll recognize them. Some of them are quite famous. We have Alfredo Quiñones Hinojosa, who's a very well-known neurosurgeon and scientist. Frances Colon, who's a science diplomat at the highest levels of government. You know, Cynthia Furman is one of the people that created the concept of the IDP that you're going to be learning about. So again, really incredible. And the keynote speaker is an amazing scientist, woman, who has served as role model and mentor for presidents in terms of science and diversity in science. We know most of these people. We've seen them talk and engage with people, and so we know that they're really effective. So we're very excited about sharing them with you.
Yes. So, yeah, so those are the four workshops that we have. The next component of the program is the science outreach activity. And as I mentioned earlier, this activity will allow you to develop your skills as a communicator to become more effective, but it also would allow you to contribute to society and to your communities of interest in a different way. And so Ciencia Puerto Rico has been actually one of the core activities of the organization is outreach and communication. So we have 10 years of experience doing outreach activities and events and developing initiatives. And so what we want to do is bring you to what we're already doing to help you learn more about communication, become a more effective communicator, and have an impact. So there are three main areas in which we're thinking we'll do science outreach activities. One of them is writing articles for blogs or for publication in newspapers. So one of the things that Ciencia Puerto Rico has been doing for a long time is we have collaborations with different media outlets, including El Nuevo Dia, which is the largest newspaper in Puerto Rico, and one of the largest Spanish language newspapers in the US as well. We have collaborations with Scientific American. So we've established collaborations with different media to allow scientists like you to communicate with the public about different science topics. So that's one of the opportunities that you'll have. You'll be able, if you want to do that, you'll be able to contribute articles for possible publication in these media outlets and also on the Ciencia Puerto Rico Blogs Network. You would have the opportunity to record a podcast. So if you're really into podcasting, Ciencia Puerto Rico has different podcasting initiatives that you can contribute to. And then something else that we've been doing for a long time is organizing visits of scientists to schools, so that you really have the opportunity to interact with students and teachers, and that's an option that you'll have as well. And that outreach activity is going to happen towards the end of or the second half of the year of the program. So when the time comes, we'll provide you more information about how do you choose the activity that you want to do, and once you choose the activity you want to do, how do you actually go about doing that? And what we hope is that there's two different workshops that are focused on helping you develop better presentation skills, better communication skills, and so you'll be able to practice what you've learned during the program through this outreach activity. And then, I've talked about the in-person meeting, so I feel like I don't have anything more to add really about that. Before I go back to Giovanna so that she can tell you a little bit more about how the Yale Ciencia Academy is a research program, briefly for the science communication workshop, I told you you'll have an assignment, and that assignment is to make a little video. So you'll be making a little video of yourself. I see some skeptical faces. Don't worry, it'll be fun. It'll be really easy. I'll send you more instructions over email either today or tomorrow. But I'll just give you a heads up. We do want you to be engaged, and this is going to be a really interactive workshop. We'll be doing a lot of hands-on activities. We'll be doing a lot of play. So what we want you to do is to get started with that, get warmed up with that. I don't want you to be scared, or I don't want you to be self-conscious. It's really good. It's an activity that it's meant to help you become a better communicator. So I'll send you more instructions about that sometime between today and tomorrow. And with that, do you have any questions before I pass it on to Giovanna?
I do. I have a question. It's regarding the AAAS meeting. Since we have the welcoming meeting on the 11th and then the 15th, can you tell us what are the expectations from us to do during those days in the conference?
Yes, that's a really good question. And so we're paying for your registration for the meeting. So the only activities that we have planned, as you said, are on the 11th and the 15th. So what we expect that you'll do the rest of the time is you'll really take advantage of the meeting. If you go to the AAAS 2016 meeting website, the program is already available online. So just find sessions that you're interested in. They have sessions that are on research, so there will be people presenting their research and their work. And this is a really broad meeting, so there'll be people presenting about, like clean energy. There'll be people presenting about biology. Like I know I was looking at it yesterday. There's one of the women who was instrumental in discovering how CRISPR works. I'm sure most of you have heard about CRISPR in the news. No, Emmanuel Charbonnier, she's going to be at the meeting, and she's going to be talking about, she's going to be talking about CRISPR. So in this meeting, you get really high-level scientists talking about their research. You also get people from government and nonprofit organization talking about policy or education. So for those of you who are interested in careers in science policy or science education or science communication, this is also a really great meeting. There's a lot of people in those fields that attend this meeting and that present their work at this meeting. So take advantage of that. Go to as many sessions as you can. Go to as many networking. There's a lot of networking that happens at AAAS. There's a lot of receptions. This is in DC, so even more so, because DC is like networking, reception, happy hour central. So just take advantage of that. We'll send you more information about the expectations through the meeting. We'll also, during the meet and greet, we'll discuss this a little bit more. And we'll send you a document of suggested sessions that you can go to depending on what you're interested in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So for those who are not that familiarized with AAAS, they're the organization that publish Science magazine. So it's really kind of an international organization for science in general. And, you know, in addition to all the great sessions, which really are amazing and super interesting, whether if it's in a scientific field or a more policy or science and society area, there's also a lot of people there. So we're also hoping that you take advantage of the meeting to connect with other scientists, maybe connect with, you know, the publishers and editors of Science Magazine. Go introduce yourself, test out a little bit some of the things that we're going to be learning more about this year in terms of increasing your networking, introducing yourself to people, learning more about funders, learning more about the publishing world. So yeah, so, you know, really make the most out of it, because it is a great meeting. Oh, and somebody's sharing what's that file that someone shared, sharing science. I guess it's some of the program for the AAAS meeting. Okay, so we also wanted to tell you a little bit about how the Yale Ciencia Academy is also a research program. So this program is actually funded by the National Institutes of Health. The National Institutes of Health is interested, it's obviously a national agency that funds the majority of biomedical academic research in the US, and they're interested in making sure that the graduate student population is being prepared effectively for the careers that are available to them, and that we're also helping to increase the diversity of the workforce. So this program was designed for those two specific objectives, to help you prepare better for whatever career outcome you're interested in, to help you think about what those career outcomes can be. And then to also give you access to people, to networks, to resources that can help you advance your career. In this way, with your success, you can help the workforce in general become more diversified. So we really want to make sure that the program is achieving those objectives. And this is also the first year. You're the first cohort of Yale Ciencia Academy Fellows. So we also want to make sure that, you know, the way we ran things this year worked, and that we get your feedback on what worked and what didn't. If there's things we can improve for future years, we also want to get that feedback. So we are going to be asking you to participate in a number of evaluation activities. After each conversation with scientists, peer mentoring session, and workshop, you're going to have to answer some brief surveys about how they went, you know, what you got out of it, how well it worked. And in addition, we are going to have some longer surveys at the beginning of the program and at the end of the program. You're going to get the link to fill out the beginning of the program survey in the next few days, and then you'll get one at the end. And that will really help us kind of see what impact, if any, the program had on your own expectations for careers, your own confidence on how well you're prepared for the next step, and you know, if it had any impact on your attitudes and motivations to stay in scientific careers. So it's not a requirement. We can't, you know, require you to participate. If you don't want to, that's fine. You know, we can't force you. We don't want to force you to participate. But we do appreciate those of you that do want to volunteer and participate in that part of the program, because like I said, not only will it help us make this program better, but hopefully it'll help to inform other programs and in general the scientific community. So how can we support our graduate students better. And that's a very important thing that the nation in general is considering. So if you have any questions, do you have any questions at this time about the evaluation activities? If anything comes up, you'll have information about who to contact, either myself for questions about the evaluations, or if you want to talk to other people that know more about informed consent and issues like that, you'll also get the information on who to contact for that. Monica, is there anything else about the program that you think we should go over?
No, I don't think so. Let's see, we could go, I mean, I want to make sure that we have enough time if people have any questions about anything we said, about your participation in the program, you know, anything related to the program. I want to make sure that we have enough time to answer your questions. I know we've dumped a lot of information on you, so I know it takes a while to process this, but you know, I mean, if you have any questions, you'll be able to email us, or if you want to talk, you know, separately with myself or Giovanna.
I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah. Are the only ways to communicate science, are the only ways the program offers are the ones that you mentioned? The podcast, the community outreach, because I have like a project like in mind. Is there any way that the program can help me develop that project? You said something about it in the individual plan. Can you hear me?
Yes. So there's two questions there. First, can you mute yourself? But I'm here. Sorry. Okay, great. So there's two questions there. The first is, do you have to do the outreach activities that you have to do? Are they the only ones that you can do? Are the ones that, you know, Ciencia Puerto Rico is already doing? Not necessarily. You know, if you have something that you're really interested in doing, you know, when the time comes, please share that with us. And, you know, I think we can consider, you know, if it fits the program, we can consider that. Like, you know, if you're already engaged in some sort of outreach program or activity, or, you know, if there's an initiative at your university or your community that you think fits this well, you know, we can definitely consider that. And then the second half of your question was about what?
Individual development plan?
Actually, yeah, that was a question. Just referring to if you had some sort of guidelines that are you going to follow, or some sort of rules that are you going to follow. So yeah, but you answered my question. Yeah, the other half of the question is the same thing. Thank you.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. Yeah, I mean, we will. So as I said, we'll be doing the outreach part towards the second half of the program. So, you know, we'll be providing you guidelines and much more information about the things you can do. And at that point, you know, if there's an activity that you'd like to propose, like, listen, this is really in place, and I'm really passionate about that. Yeah, we can definitely talk about that and consider that. Okay, I see a question about online meetings from 7 to 8. For the most part, yes. You know, we'll still trying to figure out the calendar. There's been some issues with it, as some of you may have noticed. But yeah, in general, the conversations with scientists and the peer mentoring chats will be from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure that you know what that means depending on where you're located. If you're in Puerto Rico, there's times of the year that there's a time difference with the East Coast. So just make sure that you know what time that means. Mountain time zone. I don't even know what time that is in Mountain time zone. I'm in the Pacific time. So just make sure all times are Eastern time. So just make sure that you know what time that means for where you are located.
In the calendar we've had, we've tried to schedule the meetings so that they show up if on your calendar with your time zone, but you have to make sure that your calendar is set to the appropriate time zone. So it might be that you're in Puerto Rico, but your calendar is set to Eastern time instead of Puerto Rico time. So make sure, with your calendar settings, but always go by the time that's on the agenda on Eastern time, okay? If it says 7 p.m. Eastern time, that's when we'll start in Eastern time. And then the question was whether all the meetings are in the same time. We've tried to arrange all the conversations with scientists and all the peer mentoring sessions at pretty much the same time, either on Thursday, sometimes I think it might be Mondays or Tuesdays, Tuesdays or Wednesdays, depending on the availability of the people that we were trying to coordinate. So for those conversations, the time is usually the same in the day. For the workshops, it might differ because they're longer, and sometimes they're 2 hours, sometimes there's 3 hours. But again, you'll always get the agenda, and the time and the date will always be there. And everything, I think, for the most part, in terms of the conversations with scientists, the peer mentoring sessions, and the workshops, they're all already in the calendar. So you can look forward, and if you have to rearrange anything in your schedule to attend them, we ask you that you please do that. So I see a question in here. Kelvin asks a question of why it's the Yale Ciencia Academy. Okay, so I'm based at Yale University. I'm in the provost office at Yale University, in a position that's actually a position that allows me to direct Ciencia Puerto Rico for the majority of my time. Ciencia Puerto Rico, like we've talked about, is an innovative way for the community to come together and support our participation in science as an underrepresented group. Yale has seen this as a pretty innovative way to support diversity in science, and so the university is interested in Ciencia Puerto Rico as a model for increasing the engagement and participation of groups that traditionally have not been as involved in science. And we've established a collaboration, and Yale is actually looking to Ciencia Puerto Rico as a model. So the Yale University is the place where the grant was submitted for the program. So hence the Yale Ciencia Academy. Are there any other questions?
I see a question from Omar about what's the mechanism for publishing an article in a Nuevo Dia. So it is very feasible. Ciencia Puerto Rico has been collaborating with a Nuevo Dia for 10 years. We've published almost 200 articles with them over those 10 years by almost 40 different people. So briefly, we have a really good relationship with the newspaper, particularly with the editor of the science section. And so the way the collaboration normally works, and probably the way this will work for those of you interested as well, is, we'll come up with, or you come up with a topic that you want to write about, articles about 600 words. You're writing for an audience that has an average of a high school degree. So you have to really make sure that the article is accessible for that kind of audience. You submit a draft, we work on it, and then we send it to the newspaper, and they consider it for publication. We have a really good track record with publishing articles with them. I would say over 90% of the things that we send them, they publish. So, you know, that's kind of briefly how it works. You know, once we get to that point of the program, we'll provide you more details about what you have to do if you're interested in doing that. But yeah, totally feasible.
Actually, we have a question for you. So as you can tell, you know, we targeted the recruitment of the program pretty heavily with our contacts in Puerto Rico through the Ciencia Puerto Rico membership and with programs in the U.S. That serve underrepresented minorities. And I think most of you have some connection to Puerto Rico, not all of you. But one thing we wanted to know is whether all of you feel comfortable talking or discussing some of the topics in Spanish. If you do, if all of you do, then we might have some of the conversations in Spanish. Not all of them. Some of the conversations with scientists, we want to be able to have them in English so that we can share them and they can have an impact broadly. So we're going to use again that hand raising function for those of you that are on the web. And for those of you that are on the phone, I'll ask you separately. I haven't even asked the question. Do you feel comfortable talking in Spanish and hearing in Spanish?
Okay. I'm okay with either.
Okay. We have... Is there anybody on the phone that doesn't feel comfortable having discussions in Spanish?
I'm fine with either language.
Okay, but not everybody has raised their hands in the...
So is there anybody who doesn't speak Spanish? Can you speak up or raise your hand? I don't see the little hand. Okay, so does everybody speak Spanish? I see raised hands or, let's see, lower hand, lower hand, lower hand, lower hand. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to lower all the hands and then you can ask your question, Monica.
Okay. Okay. I mean, maybe the best way to do this is through the chat. Is there anybody who does not speak Spanish? Sí, no, maybe.
Hablen ahora o callen para siempre.
Is there anybody that speaks other... Is there anybody that speaks other languages besides English and Spanish?
Sí.
All right. What do you speak other than English?
French. Francés. French.
Okay.
French.
Some French speakers. I don't speak French, so French is not an option.
I think that with Spanish and English it will be fine.
Okay, good. You know, if you want to discuss this in private or, you know, just you can contact us later. Like I said, some of the conversations with scientists will want to have in English. Some of the speakers, the guest speakers that we're bringing don't speak Spanish, so we'll have to communicate with them in English. We feel it's important for you to feel comfortable discussing science and discussing professional development issues in English because you're going to have to do that for your participation in the professional world and in the scientific world. But that said, some of the conversations, particularly the peer mentoring sessions when we're, you know, a group, when we go to the AAAS meeting and we're like socializing, it's good to know that everybody speaks Spanish so that we can, you know, all feel comfortable, you know, if we want to just chat spontaneously in Spanish, to know that we can do it. I see some raised hands. Are you raising them because you want to say something, or Soad, do you have a question?
No, I was just trying to figure it out where the little hand thing was, but I found it.
Okay, yeah. That is a pretty cute feature.
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
So is the program in any way, for example, for if we publish papers and, you know, we do our work, is the program going to help us in some way to like outreach our work to try to expose us to other like communities like in Puerto Rico about our work and our accomplishments as part of the program to try to network our way into other positions?
So that's something that I think, you know, it'll be on a case-by-case basis. We want each of you to think about what your goals are in terms of your career. And it might be that for you, it is to, you know, get an academic career, an academic position, or it might be that, you know, for someone else is to get a job in a different sector. We want to help you think about what those goals are and to help you think about what the best strategies are for you to get ahead in that specific field. So it'll be on an individual basis, and we're hoping that the program will help you connect with people that can help you with those activities. That said, if you're talking about disseminating your work, the work that you're all doing in terms of your research and your scientific discoveries with a broader audience, particularly a Hispanic, a Spanish-speaking or Hispanic audience or a Puerto Rican community, that is something that Ciencia Puerto Rico strives to do. It's, you know, one of our central parts of our mission. And it's one of the goals of the science outreach component of the program. So yes, if that's what you're referring to, that's, you know, we can definitely help. You can either choose to present a paper you've published in, you know, to a general audience or the research you're doing, or you can choose, like we were talking about, some other type of outreach activity. Cool.
Monica?
Yes.
This is Liz. I have a quick question. If I know of an opportunity, like some type of program or workshop that many of the peers can be interested in, what is the best way to let you guys know of these opportunities?
That's a good question. So we've started a Google group, and I know that some people have been having issues with accessing that. But I would say the best way, the reason we created that Google group is so that we can communicate with you without having to copy and paste 34 different email addresses on my, you know, my email software, but so that each of you can communicate with each other. So I would say that's the best way. If that doesn't work for you, or if you don't know the email address of the Google group, it's on the overview document.
Oh yeah, I do know it, but the thing is that I think it's still glitchy. So sometimes if I have my email from my university open, it just makes everything just mess up.
Okay,
but I can figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, try that. If it doesn't reach most people, you know, try sending it to that, and then CC me or Giovanna or the YCA at cienciapr.org email, and then we'll forward that to everybody.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and we want to encourage that type of sharing of opportunities. I think that's precisely one of, you know, that's one of the things that we want to encourage you. So don't be shy about doing it. Everybody's here.
Giovanna?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt. The thing is, I say it because I am organizing with Cornell University. We are organizing an event of science communication. So I just wanted to put forward if anyone was interested. That's pretty much the reason the question.
Yeah, that's wonderful. If you know, are you looking for participants, speakers?
Yeah. Yes, it's mostly for local. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're looking both for participants and speakers.
Yes, for both of them. So we are looking for participants. It's going to be at Cornell, so Ithaca. So that's a limitation. We're not paying exactly for any type of, travel arrangement, but if you're close in the area, and two, if any of you know of a specific speaker that would be, good to have in a science communication workshop, feedback would be appreciated. But that's what I wanted to share with everyone once I have all the details.
Yeah, I think that would be that's a perfect example of something you can share, and then you can also contact me and Monica. We can help with suggestions of speakers as well.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we are, we're going a little bit over time. And I want to be respectful of everybody's time. I know it's a little later for some of you. I mean, it's still 5 o'clock for me, but I know it's late for some of you. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you so much for your interest in the Ciencia Academy, and really for your commitment to your own careers. We're really, really excited about having you all in this program, about meeting you, most of you, next month. And, if you have any questions, I can stick around for a little bit if you have any additional questions, but for those of you who have to go, you are free to go. But yeah, if you have any other questions, feel free to email us. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Our next one is January 27th. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. See you next week.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Monica?
Yes.
This is Liz again. Sorry. I got in a little late, and I am not sure how much did I miss. I came in the part of the peer chat. So I don't know if you discussed anything, important. I know everything is important, but critical at the beginning.
I don't think there was anything critical that wasn't in the documents that we sent you.